Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video on MAC Cosmetics, my likes and dislikes of the brand and the products and just in general. I feel like MAC is a brand that gets a lot of notoriety, a lot of people, know of it. I mean, most of the female population ages, we'll say 14 to 60 know of MAC Cosmetics. It's a brand that's been around since the 90s. They're owned by Estee Lauder, who also owns Clinique, and Bobbi Brown and Prescriptives, to name a few. And I just feel like there's really just a house-divided opinion when it comes to MAC, when it comes to their products, when it comes to the brand's philosophy, and things like that. And so I figured I would come on here and put my own 2 cents in because, I'll just give you my opinion overall. I think MAC is a good brand. I think for the price compared to other high-end brands, it's reasonably priced. They do have a wide variety of products and shades, especially foundations and eyeshadows to match everyone's ethnicity and everyone's skin tone and everyone's undertone. Well, almost everyone's undertone. But I do think that there are other brands out there that are better, and there are other brands out there that are much worse. So for me, it's not a mediocre brand, it just sits in the middle ground. It's like a good go-to brand is what my opinion is going to be stated as. So I've got 2 different baskets, one with products I like in it and one with products I dislike in it. And I'm just going to talk to you guys about different things. I figure I'm going to start with the dislikes first because I feel like those can be really helpful so you know what to avoid rather than what to go for. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. They have a bunch of different foundation formulations, but they do make a cream foundation called Studio Tech. And this is what the foundation compact looks like. All of MAC's compacts typically have this sort of same layout of a sort of like a satiny black compact with the logo in description in silver print. This is what it looks like. Excuse me, this is quite used up. But you lift it up and there's a sponge in it underneath with a little vent so that way your sponge can air out, which prevents bacteria growth. This is not a bad foundation, it's not a bad product, but I feel like there are other cream foundations out there that are much better. Another Estee Lauder brand, if that's what you're sticking with, is Bobbi Brown, and her oil-free even finish compact foundation I think is 10 times better because this is a very dry cream, and so if you have dry patches it'll really cling to those, and if you have oily skin it'll just stick to the oil and it really sort of just becomes this big paint-like mess. It can be very mask-like, and this is a very emollient cream foundation, but it's also oil-free, so if you are oily it will not cause extra oil production, and if you're dry it's going to just glide on evenly on the skin without tugging or anything like that. So MAC Studio Tech, it's alright, but I prefer the Bobbi Brown cream foundation. They're mineralized skin finishes, not the mineralized skin finish naturals because those are actually in my like bin, but I have this one in Lightscapade. This is the only one I own just because I'm very content with my Dior Amber Diamond highlighter, which is my absolute favorite highlighter. You'll know that if you've been watching me for a while because I never fail to mention it. And this is their highlighting powder. They have only I think 2 permanent mineralized skin finishes. This one was limited edition I got it from the Cindy Sherman collection, or Fall Color. It was originally Cindy Sherman, but then they re-released it recently, and it's pretty much like a translucent highlighter. So you see it on my finger, it looks white, but when you swatch it, it's just got a very pretty glow to it that doesn't have any color, so it's good for really pale people, but unfortunately that's another thing about MAC that I dislike, is a lot of the good products are limited edition or they've been discontinued, and MAC likes to do that because they like to make sure that they have, very devoted customers, but for someone, if they see this video and they really like how this looks, they can't go out and get it because it's not permanent. But I do think this is it just doesn't do much. It really doesn't have color to it, so it's not going to give you a really gorgeous golden glow. It doesn't have a bronze tone to it, it doesn't have a pink tone to it, it's just translucent. And so I do like to use this for when I do really pale people's makeup because it shows up beautifully and it's like a natural luminosity to the skin, but for anyone else it just sort of looks like sweat. Looks like a little bit of nothing. So it's sort of just like a product that's almost there for me. And I think they're overpriced. They're about $29 or something like that. And I think that's way overpriced for a shimmery powder. MAC Blot Powder, I've well used this, and I do enjoy it from time to time, but it's just a very, I don't know, it's very dry. And of course powders should be dry, but there's a difference between a smooth powder and an overly dry powder. And this will absorb any oil that you have on your face when it comes in contact with this powder. But that also means it will show up on any dry patches, and it will sort of cake up, and you'll see the dryness. Even if you have oily skin, you'll still see the dryness on any areas that you put on, so which then means you have to buff it in, and it's just an extra step. I just feel like there are better powders out there and less expensive ones. This one, it's not a bad product. Well, okay. This is a blush ombre, and this is Vintage Grape, and I thought I was gonna get a lot of use out of this because I love purple. Purple just looks good on me, on my eyes, on my lips. Not on my face though, because this ends up looking like bruising. And this also does not have a lot of color to it whatsoever. That looks like a bruise, does it not? And then when you go to apply it, I'm applying it right here. You can't really see it at all. It just sticks to the finger. And it doesn't really come off on your brush either. So in that aspect, it's not a great product, but for bruising, it's fantastic for creating fake bruises. But that's not, what I bought it for initially. Mineralize Eyeshadows. I don't know why MAC still makes these, because so many people strongly dislike them because they're just not good. I mean, they have these beautiful, this is from the no, it was In the Groove, which was 2010, summer 2010, and this is called Togetherness, and it looks really pretty in the compact, right? Or in the pot, there's like a lavender, a really pretty blue tone purple, and a charcoal, and you're meant to mix these together, which I didn't know you were supposed to do until very recently. So when you mix it together, first of all, the purple will get into the lavender and really screw shit up, but it looks like that, and then when you go to swatch it, it just doesn't do very much. I think they're not good products. MAC makes much better eyeshadows. Their regular eyeshadow line is fantastic for finishes and natural colors, and they're just great eyeshadows overall. But the mineralized ones, no one really uses them. No one really buys them. I mean, they're just not good products, and I just think they're overpriced for what they are. They're about 20 bucks, and you don't really, they're just not good overall. MAC Brush Cleanser. This is in a spray bottle. This is my last bit of it. I've used an entire bottle. I think it just doesn't do very much for what it is. I used to be absolutely in love with it and recommend it to everybody, but since I discovered the Sonia Kashuk Brush Cleanser for, I think it's around half the cost, you get a little bit less product, but it's about half the cost. It does so much better than the MAC Brush Cleanser. So definitely check this out if we're not a fan of the MAC Brush Cleanser, because the Sonia Kashuk one is 10 times better. And then lastly, MAC lip glosses. I'm not a lip gloss fan in general, or a lip gloss fan in general, because I would rather use like a shiny lipstick than have to put another layer of lip products on. But MAC lip glosses are just very, very thick. They're very sticky. They do have a nice amount of color pigmentation to them, but it's just like putting glue on your lips. They're so thick and sticky, and I'm not a fan of that, especially since I'm not a fan of lip gloss in general. But this is called Floor Abundance. It's a really pretty color. I'll wear it once in a blue moon, but I just don't like the consistency of it. I would much rather use a NYX Mega Shine lip gloss that's a fraction of the cost and not thick, but still has that really nice shine to it. It's just a very thin, smooth consistency, and it doesn't have a thick, goopy glue feel to it. Okay, now on to the products that I like. I've gone back and forth on these things, or on this product specifically, MAC Fix Plus Spray. But at the end of the day, I absolutely love what it does. It gives a beautiful finish to the face. If you use a little bit too much powder, spray this on your face. It'll control the powderiness. It'll take it down a notch, and also sort of just create a very thin film on your face to help makeup last a little bit longer. At least it has in my experience. A lot of people say it's not a setting spray. It's just a finishing spray, but it works to help prolong makeup in my book. Also, you can get your brush wet with this to use as a mixing medium, and you can, well, that's about it. But it's essentially fancy water. It's about 20 bucks for 3.4 US fluid ounces. But I've had this for 2 years. Still have a little bit left, and I use this all the time. I absolutely love this, and I think it's absolutely worth it to spend your money on this. Of course, there will be an exact opposite opinion on this, but at the end of the day, it's up to you. MAC lipsticks, they have such a wide variety of shades and finishes that I think they're just really the powerhouse when it comes to lipsticks in the cosmetics industry. You know, even NARS has a fraction of the amount of lipsticks of the shades and finishes as well. They don't have as many finishes. And I think I like that they label their finishes because MAC makes a bunch of finishes, right? They have, this is a frost finish, this is a matte finish, this is a satin finish, and then this is a cream sheen finish, right? And they all have different appearances to them. So I like that they label the finishes because you can tell what kind of look that you're going to get from the lipstick that you're purchasing, you know, not just the color but the finish, because I think the finish is important, especially if you're using really shimmery eyeshadow. You don't want to put a shimmery lipstick on because that could just be too much. Maybe go with like a amplified cream or a satin or even a matte, and then vice versa. If you're using a lot of matte products, use a shimmery lipstick that will just help to create some dimension. I just love the price, the finish, and the shade range. Absolutely amazing. A lip gloss I do like from MAC is the Dazzleglass Cremes. I know a lot of people really despise these, but I love them. They have a lot of shimmer in them. They're a thicker consistency, not as thick as the lip glosses, and I think the shimmer helps to sort of tone that down a little bit, but this one's in Soft Dazzle. It's a beautiful, like, nude peachy pink with a lot of gold flecks in it, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'll put a little bit on. It just, I love, love, love it. And I'm not a huge fan of shimmer on the lips, but I just think it just looks really beautiful. Although these are 20 bucks and you get less product than regular lip glosses, so in sense they're really not that great of a value, but I love them. MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation. This is both a pressed powder and a powder foundation. The finish that this gives is like velvet. It literally just makes your skin look so smooth. It blurs out any harsh lines or pores, and it just goes on really smooth, and it's got a good medium coverage to it. So if you are using like a tinted moisturizer and you want to set your foundation and have a little bit more coverage in certain areas, this is the thing to go to just dust this on really quick in the morning. Great to go to because it does have that amount of coverage to it, and you can throw this in your bag and touch up with it. The only thing is, since it does have a lot of pigmentation to it, you could, you know, get a little cakiness or a little too much powderiness on your face if you're not careful, but overall I think it's a great product. Same thing goes for Mineralize Skinfinish Naturals. I am wearing this one in dark right now, which is a very, very orangey toned one. I'm not sure if this actually is this color in America because I bought this in Australia, and I think maybe the oxidation levels between Australia and the United States is different, and I think it might have oxidized the product since it is a mineral product. But this is great for warming up the face. I just use it in place of a bronzer if I don't want that bronze glow, but I don't want a blush. I just put this on like my cheekbones and around my temple area to just really give a lot of warmth to the face and sort of define it a little bit at the same time. And the finish of these is really beautiful. I'm more of a fan of loose powder for setting the face, but to just dust this on really quickly, it'll give a really beautiful natural satin finish to it, and it's great for touch-ups as well. The only thing it's missing is a mirror, so if they reformulate it or repackage it in something with a mirror, like in a compact like this, then I will be absolutely happy. But until then, still a great product. Their brushes are great. I mainly own eye brushes. I only have one face brush. But I think they're good. They are pricier compared to something like a Sonia Kashuk brush or an e.l.f. Studio brush, which, don't get me wrong, I love my e.l.f. Studio brushes and my Sonia Kashuk brushes. I will die by those. But I think there are some brushes that MAC makes that you just really can't find anywhere else. At 217, I can't find a good blending brush anywhere else that does the exact same thing that this does. And I can't find a pencil brush that's this size, and will do the same thing that this pencil brush will. This is a 219. But standard foundation brushes, everyone makes them. Angle brushes, oh, sorry, I dropped it. Angle brushes, pretty much everyone makes those as well. But I think when it comes to like crease brushes, MAC really has everyone beat because they make so many different ones. This is a 226, which is limited edition, which is a downfall because it's my favorite MAC eye brush ever. 217 is beautiful and fluffy for blending, and then the 224 is a lot bigger and not as dense. and so it's great for just shearing things out, and it's great for highlighting the brow bone as well. But I just think they're great brushes. They're great to invest in. There's certain ones that you can invest in and certain ones you can skip. That's a whole separate video, but I always recommend a 217 to people if they're asking me what brushes to buy. And then last but not least, MAC eyeshadows. There's a whole like cult following of MAC eyeshadows. Everybody, you know, you see people's eyeshadow collection and it's like strictly MAC. I mean, personally, I like to branch out. But they do make good eyeshadows, which is, in the end, that's what it's all about. I'm wearing Ricepaper, which is this color right here, on all over my lid and on my inner corner. That's a really pretty like golden peachy beige. Matte Carbon is a good black for darkening things up. It's just a matte black. This is Humid, which is a really pretty like mossy olive army green. And then this is this is Scene, which is a nice satiny gray. And then the Gesso is a matte white. I mean, they just have so many different finishes, so many different shades. You're bound to find something you're looking for. But something I really dislike about their eyeshadows is I've had this happen a lot of times, but I don't know what it is. I haven't used them wet. I haven't used them with excessively oily eyelids, but they get this film on top of them. If you can see, it's got this like shiny, not sparkly, but like glossy film over it, and it prevents you from being able to use the color. Let me swatch it for you. Right, like it doesn't work. And then if you go use like a regular one that's doesn't have that weirdness over it, you know, it's got a lot more color to it. So it's weird. I don't know if this has happened to anyone else, but I've tried scraping off the top layer. I've tried crushing them up and using them loose, but they still just do not work the same as when they do before they get like this. So I don't know what it is. It drives me nuts because I've had a good amount of eyeshadows do this on me, but yeah, so it's something to think about. So yes, that is my roundup of MAC products I like and MAC products I dislike. I would certainly love to know what you guys think about the brand and the products in general, or any specifics, leave those as well. We can have a conversation. But overall, I'm going to say, first of all, it's up to you what you buy, what companies you buy from, what products you buy. But I think just before you really give in to all the hype that surrounds MAC, check out other brands first, because you never know, you're going to find better products, you might find worse products. Just be sure to check out other brands and don't just stick to MAC just because it's MAC and just because there's this whole following and because it's an iconic brand. Certainly branch out and find different companies that you like and different products from different companies that you like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful if you or just wondering what MAC products I like and, you know, wondering my opinion, or if you're going to take a trip to MAC and you want to think of what products to buy. Just I hope anyone out there found it helpful. And until my next video, I'll talk to all you guys soon. Bye, everyone.